She talks about you every now and again. Yes, ma'am.
Somebody's passing them out. Let me see where they are.
Yeah, give me just 1 minute. What I want you to do.
I see a guy at the door's holding a stack of them. I see a guy back there at the door holding a stack of them. He's handing them to everybody that comes in, I guess.
It looks familiar.
I don't know.
Hey, Harry, thank you for being here. Gotcha. Glad you are. Yes. Yeah, you said yes. Yes, you did. Prayer first, then recognize that man come up.
Julian, here's Jimmy's right here. There's Jimmy's, and David's got his.
I found mine.
Okay. All right. David brought his own.
Ready? Rock and roll.
Much
Mayor, Mr. Richie Gal with the House Representatives. Stand up, Richie. Stand up. Stand up. Don't stand up. You know, folks, that's too quick.
As I think about positions of leadership, I'm reminded that a lot of times the way I view leadership is similar to that of an iceberg. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you look at an iceberg, when you look at the top of it, you don't see the sum total. When you look at a leader, you don't see the sum total of who that person is. You don't see all the investment of other people that has been involved in that person's life. And that's, whether I'm pastoring a church or running for public office, I recognize that I did not get here on my own. There are many people in this room who are part of this journey of where I am today. Many of you who are here, and I want to say thank you to you. First of all, I want to say thank you to the congregation at the Camden First Church of the Nazarene. The Camden First Church has been in this community for over 70 years, and it's an important thread of our community. And I'm grateful that they are sharing their pastor with the citizens of Kershaw County. I want to thank the members of the clergy community who are here, friends of mine who I'm grateful to serve this community with. Thank you so much for praying with me and over me during this process. I'm grateful for the many citizen and community leaders of Kershaw County who have been with me this whole time, this whole year, through this process, through this campaign. There were many lifelong Kershaw County residents who early on got behind my campaign and spent a lot of times eating lunch at the Little Midget or the BSL, talking about different issues that affected our community. And so for that, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for my family. My mom is here. I'm grateful for her support through this process. My dad is no longer with us, but today I was able to honor him by using one of his Bibles from his ministry for the swearing in. So grateful for the passion for public policy, the passion for politics that my parents instilled in me. I'm grateful for my wife's parents who are here, Harry and Dorothy Hobgood. While they are residents of Lexington County, I can assure you that they have stimulated Kershaw County's economy through various trips with grandkids to restaurants and to stores. So they've been a part of it as well. To my beautiful bride, Casey, and our 2 children, Aston and Avery, thank you so much for being right here through the process. And those of you who don't know, if you're in my church, you know I cry a lot. So if you're new to this, to me, you just have to get through this next 4 years. I'm just kind of a very passionate person. But thank you so much. If you follow the campaign on social media, you knew that my family was a big part of the campaign. Casey, thank you so much for being such an awesome life partner and being with me through this. Early on, when I thought that I'd gotten in over my head with the campaign, Casey gave me some really good words of encouragement, and so for that, I appreciate that. It was funny, after the June election, it was said that, well, Davis Snodgrass, he only did so well in the downtown boxes because his wife is a beloved teacher at Camden Elementary School. And to that I said, you are exactly right. You know, I run for public office. It's always been an idea that I assumed would just be that, an idea. When my family and I moved to Kershaw County 7 years ago, running for public office was the first thing on my mind. We were called here to simply follow the Lord's call to be a pastor in the Church of Nazarene, and we were just blessed that call led us to Kershaw County, that led us here to Camden. You know, as a pastor, the words of the Old Testament prophet Jeremiah kind of ring true in my head, and it really should ring true for all of us. Jeremiah said that, seek the peace and prosperity to the city which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you will prosper. Now, Jeremiah was speaking to the Israelites who were in exile, and I'm not trying to say that I'm in exile, because I'm not. I'm blessed to be here, but I do believe that I was called here. And part of what our community has been, our church and our community and our family has been wanting to do is to seek the prosperity of this community. The more that my family got involved with this community, the more that we saw this was a place that we wanted to put down roots, and we wanted to do our part to seek the peace and the prosperity for Kershaw County. Again, the goal was never to run for office. The goal was simply to lead a church, to be more community-minded, to reach out into compassionate ministries. The goal kind of fleshed out in the ways of Casey choosing to move from Lexington to be a part of the Kershaw County School District, to put our kids in these schools. And that was the goal. It was never to run for public office. But you see, making myself available for county council was simply a culmination of seeing the beauty and the potential here in Kershaw County and wanting to be a part of cultivating a bright future for the next generation. I want you to understand that as a member of county council, it's the words of Jeremiah will be my foundation. The words to seek the peace and the prosperity for the city will be my foundation. I'm grateful for previous councils and the work that they have done. I'm grateful for the county staff and the employees who do a great job for the county. I'm looking forward to being part of a team that ensures county government is efficient in the essential services which counties are designed to supply. I'm looking forward to being part of a team which I know wants to work together towards a future of sustainable growth so that more people can enjoy the beauty that is Kershaw County. The oath I took today was to serve all the citizens of Kershaw County. However, as a District 5 councilman, I'm not only eager to serve all the citizens, but I'm eager to ensure that the folks in Antioch, the folks in Camden, the folks in East Camden, the folks in Cassett have a voice at the county table concerning county issues. I'm eager to lead the conversation to what revitalization and business development looks like in East Camden. In recent months, I've already had the opportunity to have meetings with county staff and with our state legislative delegation to begin the process of what and where we begin on something like that. I really believe the best days for our county are ahead of us. It's going to take a team effort of community business owners and citizens and state and local leaders to be all on the same page, but I believe we have a solid foundation for that to happen. I want you to know this. I will never forget the greatest gift the citizens of Kershaw County have given me, and that is their trust. The citizens gave me their trust when they elected me, and I'm committed to be a faithful steward of that gift. Every vote I take, every matter that is discussed will be handled with prayer, with listening, and careful attention. We have a lot of work to do. But as I tell my children, anything worth having is worth work and investment. From an individual who was blessed to be able to choose Kershaw County as home, thank you for choosing me to give me the opportunity to serve you in this capacity. I pray for God's continued blessing and watchful care over this great county. Thank you.
You got to put Steve Zoll in that as well.
Thank you. Upon arrival, Jimmy asked me if I'd say a few words, and of course, if y'all know me, actually, if you know me, I've never been lost for words. It's an honor and a privilege. First of all, about 12 years ago, for everybody who don't know, we have a coffee club that meet every morning. And, I see a bunch of people here. General, you've been there. Jim comes in every morning. About 12 years ago, he approached me with an idea. And I kind of looked at him with one eye open and one eye closed, and I said, "You're going to do what?" Jimmy said, "I think I'm going to run for county council." And from day one, Jimmy Jones has been very instrumental. He's been a very good steward of our tax dollars. He's been instrumental in my life. Jimmy was a leader from when I knew him when I was young. I'm just sitting here thinking about some of the things I could say about him positively. But so one of the things I thought and came to mind, being a leader does not require a title. Jimmy Jones has been a leader all his life. Jimmy's done some things that I'm very proud of, and I'm sure his family's very proud of. He's a friend. He's been a mentor of mine from the Lugoff days. But I want to close with one thing. All people with titles. Jimmy was a leader way before he had a county council title. Jimmy's been instrumental, like I said, in my life and a lot of the people's lives I see out here today. Jimmy's been a good friend. He's been a good steward of tax dollars, and I never will forget the day that he was first, I guess, what do you call this? Swearing in ceremony, I'd say, across the road. Jimmy received at least 30 calls even before he took oath. And he responded to those people, and he does that today. He not only does things for people within his district, but he does things for his constituents in other people's districts. So I'm privileged to be able to say something nice about you today. We really appreciate it, and you've done a great job on county council. Thank you, buddy.
Paul Napper. Thank Paul Napper. Look, I had to dig deep.
First of all, I want to remind everybody we have one of our councilmen that's very sick, Mr. Tom Gardner, and please keep him in prayers. Councilman Snodgrass, I'd like to congratulate you for looking for big things out of it. Jimmy asked me if I would tell most of the good things about him that I knew and talked to him, so this will be a very short speech. One of the things that impresses me about Councilman Jones is two figures. I'd like to share them with you today. 341 and 59. Councilman Jones has ran 4 times. Out of all the votes, he has taken 341%. Opponents have taken 59. That's a pretty secure. He ran unopposed the last time. I believe you're the only one that has had at least 2 terms in your district. Am I correct, Councilman Jones? 2 terms. Two consecutive terms. Nobody has been elected 2 times in a row before you.
3 before me had 1 term.
1 term and didn't make it. So you can see it when I tell you about Jimmy taking these ragtag group of people and putting them together with some good people. He's got some good people in his camp too. And turning them out there. They turned out to vote for him. There's a couple of things you can say about Jimmy Jones. He's not afraid to ask the tough questions. And he always comes prepared. You won't catch him when he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's talking about something all the time. He asked me to tell one story, and I will. I'll apologize for it before I start. See, I think it's time we all backed up a little bit and laughed with each other, took things just a little less serious, learned to love each other a little more, learned to tolerate each other a little more. People don't know it, but Jimmy and I went to school together. We grew up together. We've known each other about all of our lives. One day, Jimmy and I was walking through the woods. Maura Jones is cringing now. Jimmy and I were walking through the woods, and we just come up on this big hole. We looked over the edge. It was just nothing, straight down, flat. I looked at Jimmy. I said, Jimmy, how deep you think that hole is? Jimmy said, I don't know, but I'll find out. You know how Jimmy is. So he walks over and picks up a big old rock. He said, I'll throw this rock in this hole. We'll count. When it hits the bottom, we'll be able to figure out how deep it is. We chunked that big old rock in that hole. We waited, and we waited, and we waited, no sound. Jimmy, I don't understand that. He said, me either. He said, but it's not going to beat me. He said, I'll figure out how it is. He said, look, there's a big old log to help me. We'll throw that big log in there. When that log hits the bottom, it'll make a lot of noise, and we'll be able to tell. So we got the log, and we threw it in the bottom. Went down, Stood there for a minute. All of a sudden, this goat come by us, about 50 miles an hour. Took a nosedive down into the hole and disappeared into the darkness. We standing there looking at each other, wondering what went wrong. We heard something behind us. It's Julian Burns. Julian said, "Hey, fellas, have y'all seen my goat anywhere around here?" Jimmy said, "No." He said, "But the funniest thing in the world happened." He said, "A goat just ran by here about 50 miles an hour, jumped in that hole, nose first, and said, 'We ain't seen him since.'" Julian said, "Well, that couldn't be my goat because his tied to a big log." Thank you, sir. With that, I'll take the time to go ahead and introduce my chairman, the man that appointed me as the executive director of the Alpha Center, one of my mentors, a man that I respect very much, Mr. Austin Sheen.
Solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been elected,
to exercise the duties of the office of which I have been elected.
that I will do the best of my ability,
I will do the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and of the United States.
and deserve, protect the Constitution and what else?
Of this state and of the United
Of this
States.
state and the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
There you installed.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Cecil brags about us being related all the time. Look, that's my daughter-in-law, my son, Jamie, and Cecil Truesdale, who I have a lot of respect for. No, you come up here. She really wants to say something good about me. So I'm going to let it, then I'll talk about myself in a minute.
He does this to me quite often where he doesn't tell me I'm going to speak. And one of the things that I would say is I'm appreciative to the citizens of Kershaw County for always lifting the Jones family up with all that y'all have always done for us and entrusting us. You know, my love and devotion with children and the lives of citizens and community. Jimmy shares his love for this community through his work with county council. And one of the things I will share with you is majority of the citizens get to know the harsh, rugged Jimmy. And that is not the Jimmy that I am married to, because a lot of people go, "You're married to Jimmy Jones?" And I'm like, yeah. Jimmy is a very compassionate, loving man, and he loves his family, and he has been such a good provider and an excellent husband to me for 21 years, and that speaks volumes when any man lifts his wife up on a pedestal the way he does. And a lot of people will say, "We don't get y'all 20 years difference between us." That's okay, because he's always gotten me, and he's always lifted me up. And the neat part about it is he's a very kind and compassionate human being, and who has a deep sense of love for God, and who's always kept our home in a godly manner. But a lot of people don't get to see that about my husband, and we don't wear a lot of that on our shoulders, maybe the way we should. But I am very, very proud, and I couldn't ask to live in a better community, because when I left and came back, there was no place I wanted to raise my child other than Kershaw County, because believe it or not, I do agree with the general. Kershaw County is a great place to live, and it's because of men like my husband, whom I'm very proud of.
You know, I have people ask me, "How you doing, Jones? Are you okay? You feeling good?" I'm feeling great. I'm in the prime of my life. I want to say this. I've had people ask how Mara and I have met. I said, well, let me just tell you this. I absolutely, the first time I saw her, fell head over heels, madly in love with her. And have been that way ever since. And before we got married, she said she didn't want any other children. I had 3 grown children. I said, well, that's great with me. Well, right after we got married, she wanted a child. So I said, okay, just tell me when you're ready. And anyway, and it happened. And you know, let me just say one thing about who I am. I'm very direct, I'm very straightforward, and I'm honest. My word is my honor. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I may say things or ask questions on county council that are uncomfortable. But I have all the respect for this man. I have all the respect for my colleagues on county council. It's not personal. I just want answers and explanations, and I think that's part of our democracy. But let me just move on one other thing, too, about this wonderful lady. She gave me I have 3 children that are grown. Jamie Jones, stand up, please. I'm very proud of Jamie. He's been in law enforcement all his life. He's second-generation law enforcement because I retired law enforcement. He now works out of the solicitor's office with the DEA task force at the federal courthouse. He does prescription drug enforcement. I couldn't be any more proud of him than I am. And then I have my daughter, Nikki, who went 4 years to college to be a mom. And then, very proud. Jessica, don't you tell her I said that. Then I have Joanne, my youngest daughter, who's a surgical tech, went to Central Carolina. And her husband has a restaurant over in Columbia. They do very well, and I'm very proud of them. They couldn't be here today due to her working and some other things going on. But I also have my youngest son, Taylor. He's 18 years old. Most people don't notice that there's an age difference between Mara and I. It's hard to tell. But there is. There's actually 19 years. And for those who don't know, and when we first met, people asked me, was that my daughter? But Taylor, when she told me she was pregnant with our son, Taylor, I said, oh my goodness, 48 years old, what am I doing? Well, when I looked in that boy's eyes when he was born, I realized God had a plan. And he's been a blessing. He's been a blessing. Jamie even asked me one time, he said, Dad, you give him whatever he wants. You never spank him. You tore me up. You were hard on me. What's the difference? I said 23 and 63. Okay? I mean, what else can I say? You know, getting old, I think I might have mentioned this to you, Chairman. Getting old gets you on your knees every morning. It gets you on your knees every night praying to God. And I'm not one who wears my religion on my sleeve. I don't profess to be holier than thou. But I am a man of God, and I do believe in Jesus Christ. And I'm very proud of the family and friends I've got. But I have to also, she's here. She's my only in-law that I have here, my daughter-in-law. She's like a daughter to me. She's not my daughter-in-law. She's my daughter. And we love you, Jessica. I'm very proud you're here. And Avery, her daughter, is my 8th grandchild. And I love her and treat her as if she was my very own. And Cecil, so glad to have you in our family as well, too. But I'm not going to go on too long. But what I want to say is that I'm humbled. I'm humbled that the people in this community, my community, would send me back 4 times. I never intended that. For 26 years into county government as a department head jail administrator, I felt like I was doing time with inmates, so I retired. At least I could put them in a straitjacket, lock them down, or put them in a black chair, a restraint chair. But, you can't do that with your employees, and it was a big headache, so I decided to retire. And 3 years after that, I ran for county council, and I've been there ever since. A lot of you in this room I know, whether you're in my district or not, a lot of you in this room, a large majority, have called me. And I've answered my phone. And I will always answer my phone. I can't promise you I'm going to put you a pond in your backyard or build you a swimming pool. But what I can promise you is that I'm going to work for you. I'm going to be there. I'm going to answer my phone. And by gosh, if I don't agree with the situation, I'm not going to support it. It's all about priorities. I have my priorities. The chairman, the councilman, we each have our priorities. That doesn't make them right, me wrong, me right, or them wrong. It's just we have different priorities. And they're all good priorities. But Blanche, I'm so glad you're here. We love the Scotts as well. And to my coffee club, to John, to Bruce, I hate to start calling names, Paul, Richie. Thank you for being here, making that long trip. And Steve Jordan, I appreciate you. Boy, we got a lot of preachers in here. And that's good to see as well, too. I'll share this with you. It was a little, went down memory lane, Randy Bowers. we had a vote one time on a bingo parlor. And I had gotten a bunch of calls, and there were folks for it and folks against it. Somebody said, why did you vote against that bingo parlor? I said, well, I'll tell you one reason. You had 5 ministers sitting out there, and everyone was looking me straight in the face. There's no way I was going against that. But anyway, I didn't think it was the right thing for the community either. But to the Alpha Center, to Harry, all you guys, Bruce, just so glad to see y'all here. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your friendship, for your support. I will never in my life purposely try to let you down. I will always stand up for you the best way I can. And I want to say thank you to each and every one. And, oh, by the way, pastor, preacher, proud of you. Proud of your commitment to our service. And I've heard a lot of good things from Mrs. Boone. And we love Mrs. Boone. But God bless each and every one of you. And thank you so much for everything. And I'm glad to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful community. God bless. Sammy Tucker's got it about 2 years, but that doesn't matter. Folks, I would be remiss, folks, I would be remiss. I need your attention 1 second. Chairman Sheheen, Austin Sheheen. I did not mention Austin Sheheen, my mentor, a man that has been by my side. He was 20 years chairman of county council. I would not be where I'm at today without Austin Sheheen. God bless you and thank you, sir. Thank you.